Hi Pisces, welcome to your November 2018 monthly readings. I'm on the go again. I'm always on the move, you guys. It's been freaking intense these past couple of months where I actually was quite proud of myself. I thought I was ahead of the game, and then, life happened where family came in from out of town unexpectedly, just called up and was like, I'm in town. It was like, the whole family just went into chaos. Like, we got to get this done. We got to take them there, like, I got schooling, a test that have to be done. Work made me do, I got to complete something for work, go to school and do a test for them or get certified. And it's been crazy, you guys. I'm actually down at the beach, which is fitting for the water signs. And we are in Scorpio season, so I needed to be near water because I'm highly sensitive, and especially around water sign moons, I get very sensitive. I usually get headaches. I get triggered. Being around water helps me with that. I wanted to do these out on the beach. The sun's actually coming out now, so maybe I'll do the last couple of videos on the beach. But it's quite windy, so the cards will just be blowing everywhere. I'd like to avoid that. All right, you guys. So I pulled the cards already to cut down on time because I'll end up talking too much. Next month I'll do it because I do get a lot of messages while I'm shuffling. So the first card we got is the Knight of Pentacles. It says meditation on it. The next card we have is the Nine of Wands. It says strength on it. And then we have the Death card, which is transformation. We have the Nine of Swords, which is sorrow. We have the High Priestess. Okay, it says inner voice on it. And then the Hangman. It says new vision. Okay. So I feel like you guys are going to be highly sensitive around the Scorpio full moon as well. Scorpio time is important to you guys for some reason. Or some sort of astrological thing that's going to happen to do with Scorpio has importance to you guys, I feel like. All right, I feel like with your family, because I'm getting partnerships, all right? And when I get partnerships, it's with like anybody and everybody, your friends, family members, coworkers, bosses, that type of thing. I do feel family oriented. You're pretty good, all right? Like the family's going to come together, or you're going to be talking to them. There's going to be a lot of love and emotions with your parents, somebody, okay? I feel like you have a support system there for you. Okay? It could be good friends. You have a support system there for you to nurture you. The area of concern for me is like yourself. You seem to be overwhelmed or burdened with something that you're not clear on, but you are clear on it. That's the thing. It's like you're not trusting yourself. You do have this, like, you could be going out and drinking a lot. You're not what is it? Because I'm seeing a cup being poured out with this guy, but this is like focused on the self though, which is weird. So it's like emotionally you might be nurturing others too much where you got nothing left for yourself. Like, so the way that you treat others, Pisces, you need to treat yourself. So if you buy a lot of things for people, necessities that they need, that you feel that they need, and you treat them to those things, then you need to be spending that money on yourself. If you give other people time, and you're sacrificing of yourself, because this is a very Virgo energy, and Virgo is bound to service, okay? And you being the opposite, you're kind of bound to that too, in a different manner though. But you need to focus on the self, okay? And it's like health-wise, it's for your own good. So whatever you're supplying to others, to the ones that you love and your family, you need to be doing that for yourself as well, okay? because emotionally you're kind of drained a little bit here is what I'm getting. And this is also some of you could be drained or burdened about trying something new because you don't have all the details or information or facts, figures about it. And what this card is saying is that this is the apprentice card for me. It's the you take things with a grain of salt. So you have to go to multiple sources to get information. You don't just believe what you're hearing from one person. If one person says this is the way you do it, well, this guy here takes that with a grain of salt and he researches. Okay, he's a slow mover. He doesn't move too quickly. So that's the advice that you're getting. You don't want to move too quickly on something. And it's kind of like you need to have it's like Pisces, you're very much there for to support other people and encourage them, or you're optimistic too with that Jupiter placement, and it's like you can do this, you can do that, but now you need to be applying that to yourself, and you have some sort of self-doubt here that you shouldn't have. So it may be I'm concerned about you and the self. It's like you're there's some in some manner you don't want to move forward because you feel like you don't have all the information, or it's not enough confidence, or it's like you don't believe it's something's possible, or you know something's missing but you can't quite put your finger on it. So if that's the case, then it's saying trust your inner voice. Try to see things from a different perspective, uh, and ask lots of questions and do the research yourself. Okay, this is also the student, so it could be like going back to school is overwhelming you, or the thought of doing that, or the thought of starting a business. It's like you're kind of like I'm laughing because it's like I have a Virgo energy in me, right? So I understand it. It's like you're very overwhelmed with like, I don't have all the facts, I don't have all the information, no, I can't just do that, like you like I have to do this first, I have to do that first. Okay, and it's like you're doubting yourself, but you are capable of doing something, or you do have enough information to move forward. Okay, like your inner wisdom is going to guide you in the process. Okay, it's kind of like with the Nine of Wands, it's the strength on it, which is like you got to have the courage and the strength to take a chance. All right, yeah, it's going to be hard, yeah, you could fail, but it's a new beginning. With the Death card here, it's a new beginning. All right, it's like the old way is dying, and like there's new opportunity here. Okay, so like with your resources or finances and stuff, I think that could be a stressing point for you too, because with the Knight of Pentacles, he's an apprentice, so he's learning. So you may have to learn how to save money and talk to somebody that can guide you in that process, that has experience in that in that area. Okay. Um, for some of you guys in the future, there's like a birth of a child. It could be in the family, or a pregnancy that may occur, or it's like with the Death card, it's like I'm seeing like a new opportunity of some sort, a new business or something, new hobby, new idea. It's kind of like in the Death card when I'm seeing it, I'm seeing like this is gonna sound weird, you guys. It kind of seems inappropriate too, but I'm seeing like a sperm and an egg like attaching, which is that creates a child. So it's like birth. So it's like something something's going to be made or created. It could be a child. It could be like a business idea. Like I got one Pisces viewer, which by the way, I do want lentil soup. Okay, and I'm just going to bring this up as like an example. Okay, that's something you do for fun. It's a hobby. It's really good that you do. So it's like you can turn that into a little business. It's selling it at farmer markets by jarring it yourself in mason jars. All right. And it's, you know, in the long run, it could be an opportunity for you. Well, one, to bring in extra income, but two, eventually it could be, you know, it could be like the next Aunt Jemima, you know, like you start small, you know, like, but you can sell it, and you get, like, at the farmer's market, you have little cards that you put on your little booth. And then when people have your soup and they like it, you ensure that you give them a card. You can, firstly, I'd have samples. That's how, you know, if my advice for marketing skills and stuff like that, you would have a little sample of it so people can try it. Because most people with food items, they're skeptical about putting money into things. And if it's a farmer's market type thing that you're doing, you're selling it at farmer's market, it's going to be a higher price point that you're going to be using. All right. And secondly, I would highly recommend using your local farmers. Okay, like people that are, you know, it's to like help them help you. Okay, like you're helping their business grow while you're trying to create your own business. Okay, but you put little cards there after you've given the samples because they're more likely to purchase your soup. And then they take the card and you got a website built and they can order it online. You can actually ship your soup out. All right, like, and it's word of mouth too because they'll tell their friends and, you know, where they can get it, and, you know, they buy it from there. Or you start your own little catering company from in home. You know, if you're a good cook, like, I've said this before with jam too. If you make really good jam, you would do the same thing. You would go to a farmer's market. You know, like samples are the best marketing strategy. All right, because it's tangible. It's something that people can actually see and touch and taste. All right, and that's what they need. They need all of their senses to be operating, because when one sense isn't operating, it's like that's when you're like, I don't know, you know, like you're listening to your voice where it's like, do I need that? I don't need it. So like it's something that I just want to try, right? So they'll start to rationalize in their mind. So then you want to ensure that you speak to their rationality in the sense that it's something they want to try, so you give them that want. And then once they try it, they're like, okay, I need to have that. All right, so then they have it. Does that make sense? I don't think that came out right, but hopefully it did. I also feel like in the future, it's a possibility that you're going to have to go to the doctor in some sort of manner, or a dentist. Somebody else got that too. Um, in the horizon, I do think you need to start over financially. You really need to logically, you know, if you want your own business and you do crafts and arts and things like that, you start that at home, okay? And you got to be very, you got to see things from a different perspective to cut costs and things like that, okay? Even education, you don't have the time, and if you're making excuses that I can't go to school because I don't have the time for it, well, okay, uh, or the money, then you have to really cut out your wants. Are you purchasing things that you don't need? And you can be doing schooling online. It's not the most practical thing. Like for some people, it's best to be in a classroom because they need that push, you know, like, and being in a classroom pushes you. But it is more practical if you're somebody like myself. You work full time. I do 10-hour shifts. It takes me like 3 hours to travel back and forth to work. It is at a distance. I work on an island. So for me, I'm very time consumed in a day. Okay, so online schooling is the way I have to approach things. Okay, and then I have to make the time on my day off to go and actually get the exams done. All right, so my days off are very cramped. Okay, but it's prioritizing. You need to prioritize here because you need to focus on like you don't want to be making long-term sacrifices for short-term gain, okay? And you want to be more, okay, this is seeing things from another perspective, okay? So the hangman, it's flipping things around sometimes too, all right? It has many different meanings, but this is what I'm getting for you guys. This is like you don't want to be making long-term sacrifices for short-term gain. That's instant gratification. That's getting things here and now. What you want to be doing is making short-term sacrifices for long-term gain. Okay? Like, you got to see things differently. Okay? So you got to reason with yourself. There's a sense here of you being too caught up in your emotions and too worried, where you need mental clarity. And in order to get mental clarity, the best way I can do that, or advise you to do that, is use both your heart and your mind. Okay? Like, I know there's people out there that say use one, like use your mind, don't use your heart to make a decision. Or some other people might say, use your heart, don't use your mind to make a decision. Okay? I got an Aquarius, Mars, and Venus, okay? And a lot of people see the Five of Swords and they're like, oh, that's the manipulation card, or underhanded tactics. That's the Seven of Swords. It's not the Five of Swords, okay? In the Five of Swords, you see 3 people and 2 guys have their swords taken down by the 3rd person. Because, like, in a manner, like, what I'm saying is, like, it's like that person, okay, in the card, if you picture it, one person's yelling out, use your mind, don't use your heart. And the other person's yelling out, use your heart, don't use your mind. And then that 3rd guy comes in the Five of Swords, takes down their swords. Like, you're both being unreasonable, okay? And you're not willing to see things from a different perspective, okay? Or in a new manner, okay? With the High Priestess, that 3rd guy comes in the Five of Swords and is like, hey, okay, you need to compromise. You need to learn, like, their perspective would be, like, what I'm saying is use both your heart and your mind to make a decision. Balance yourself out, and then you're going to have no doubt or regret. You need to use both in order to follow your intuition, okay? You don't have to be foolish. Like, it's not foolish to use both your heart and your mind. That's sensible. You want to be sensible here is what we're looking for. I feel like for your home and your career, you have a firm foundation, okay? You also have, like, it's like the High Priestess. When I look at her, I'm also seeing the Hierophant. But I'm getting that for your career. So it's like you have a firm job, okay? So, like, you have abilities to go out, create on the side on weekends. You don't go dropping your job when you start a business. You want to be practical and grounded, and you want to reason with yourself. It's reasonable to do things on the weekend, and then when you can afford to, you drop down part-time, because it's not reasonable to just quit your job and be foolish and put all of your what do they say, eggs in one basket. What you want to do is you want to drop down to part-time, and then when you're like your business is stable, then you drop from part-time down to full-time in your job, in your business creative project. Then you would do that, all right? Because you don't want to screw yourself in any manner, okay? With the Nine of Wands, this is like you getting too much information at once, and it's an information overload from outside sources giving you their opinions or their thoughts and their ideas, their perspective, and that's them, okay? You do have to, it depends on what area it is, though. If it's in love, I wouldn't, you're looking for solutions, you're not looking for problems. So if people are telling you to end something, that's not a solution necessarily. You want to walk away knowing that you tried and you made the effort, all right? Like, with no regrets. So that means going to counseling before you end a relationship. If the person's not willing to go to counseling, then you end the relationship, all right? Because you put the effort in and there's nothing more you can do, okay? It's like if a person tells you they're cheating, they don't know that. Where's the proof for that? They're planting negatives, like this is like negative seeds being planted in your head, okay? And you're looking for clarity, and you got to figure this out on your own. You also need to learn how to match what you see and what you hear, okay? Because there's illusions around you, and you need to see them clearly. So don't react too clearly, or not too clearly. Don't react too quickly until you clearly see things, and trust your intuition, all right? Friends-wise, I feel like you have a very, well, you got the High Priestess here. You have somebody that can see things that are hidden and will give you clarity, okay? And the High Priestess is highly sensitive, This could be you guys. She's highly sensitive. She gets her information from in all sorts of ways, but she's very uh, she doesn't reveal everything she knows or how she knows it. She like with the high priestess, it's like if you picture an oracle, you ask a question. Sometimes they give you a riddle or they give you the answer just for that specific question. They're not going to give you an answer to your whole life, right? So whatever you're searching for, uh, you will get the answers to, but you need to see things from a different perspective. You definitely do. I do feel like there's things that are hidden, but if you're patient and you sit back and you observe, you align what you see and what you hear, uh, you gather all the details and the facts, okay, you ask the questions, you don't just sit there and think about things, then you will get the answers you're looking for. Don't let people rush you. Uh, that's usually a warning sign that something's being hidden in some sort of details are being hidden. Sorry, guys, there's noise there. All right, you guys. I mean, it looks pretty good. Just ensure that you're taking that time for yourself to nurture yourself. Take a bubble bath. Take that time out. When you need time out by yourself, take it. If you can't get it, um, well, the best thing I could advise is like I myself, I'm a very busy person, and sometimes I rent a hotel just for myself. I actually get this done usually when I'm at the hotel because I need peace and quiet, right? Like, but I also need time to myself just to like relax, because I'm a very on the go person and it's how I recharge my battery. Okay. Like how you do that is different. I see music here and I see art, but I see like, it's really weird. I see like fire coming out from fingertips, which is like creativity. You have this abundance of creativity and solutions and ways to do things and ideas. Like not all of them will work out, but some of them will, and you're not going to get the next uh, idea until you actually try to apply one of the ones that you've already gotten. It could bring you to something totally completely different. That's part of the journey. Okay, it's almost like Pisces. Some of you guys are going to be getting as you make moves to move forward and changes, you're going to be getting steps or the next clue to your pathway or the direction you need to go. But you have to take action. You definitely have to get out of your mind, and you got to get out of your emotions. Okay, so that means you have to align both your heart and your mind. You don't make a decision based on just one or the other. Okay, and sometimes things aren't always don't always make sense. Like, and there's not really much you could do about it. But I feel like outside noises are confusing you, and you have the high priestess sitting beside it. So that's like to me, and um, I'm getting like your home life. So if it's like if you're like partnered with people, um, well, first of all, if it's in your home life, then you definitely want to be going. You don't want to be letting outside people's like your friends and family members having their say on how you should operate your home or what you should be doing. You want to actually go to people who know what they're masters. They have the education. They've taken the time, the effort. They've studied. They're very grounded and practical. You want to go to those people. So it's like if you're having financial issues, you don't want to be listening to your neighbor or your mother or your father unless they're experts in that area and they're successful in that area. Then you would take some of that information in. But if people don't know what they're talking about because they're not successful in that area, then you need to go and get it from actual sources, because that's what this guy does. He goes to the sources. All right. like an actual doctor, somebody who has a degree, an education, you know, like somebody who's in school and learning. Some of you have to go to school and you have to learn something. But you can take that knowledge and apply it to another area. Like with the High Priestess and the Knight of Swords, my concern with when those two cards come up together, it's like people interfering in your relationship. So it's like if you watch a lot of tarot readings and you watch them on love, okay, I don't like to get into that area. It comes up throughout the reading, but I try to give solutions, not problems, right? I'm about fixing things, not breaking them, okay? So it's like if you're watching a lot of tarot videos and they're telling you this is how your partner feels, this is what they think, okay? You want to know how your partner feels, you got to ask them. You got to directly go and have that uncomfortable conversation and ask them. There's a fail-safe switch that the universe puts on all of us. So you can't get information from watching other videos, because then what's going to happen is you're trying to break free will, and the universe is you're going to create the very problem that you were trying to avoid, because you tried to take a shortcut, and there's no shortcuts in life. You have to have the uncomfortable conversation. It's the harder way. It's uncomfortable, but it's what's needed and necessary to gain clarity and see things from a different perspective. Okay? You want to know how they feel, just ask them. You want to get information, then you want to ask them. You don't want to be, not everybody knows what they're talking about. There are opportunists out there, right? So you don't want people taking advantage of, because I was seeing you drained with the self. So it's like you don't want people taking advantage of your kindness, all right? You don't want to be taking, you don't want people treating you like naive or anything like that, you know? Like, I feel like career-wise, you guys are doing great. My only area of concern is you yourself, all right? Like, recharge your battery when you need it. Take that alone time when you need it. Meditate when you need it. Find the information from a direct source, okay? You have research happening here that needs to be done, and information gathering that needs to be done. But with the Knight of Pentacles, that's also your health. So going out for walks, okay? You got headaches, you need fresh air. It could be because you're indoors too much, okay? Have a little playtime too with your family or friends outside. Pick up a game of soccer, game of chess, whatever it is, okay? All right, you guys, hopefully this helped you out, and I will talk to you next month. Namaste and ciao for now.